Deep breath in. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Authentically Rubes, a place where we take care of our mind, body, and souls in our most authentic way because that is the most expansive way that we can live our lives. Today, I want to talk about authenticity. It's been something that has been on my mind so much lately and something I've just really been felt called to talk about and something I've really been going deeper with within myself too. It's a term that is just thrown around so much online. Like, what does it really mean? How can we really embody our true, authentic selves? These are the questions that I'm going to answer today and also talk a little bit about how being ourselves is really our truest purpose on this earth. And it is literally what we came here to do. So it's time to start living that life that we really set out for ourselves. So the first thing I want to get into is what really is authenticity. To me, it's really deeply connecting to ourselves, being in devotion to ourselves. Authenticity and self love, for me, kind of overlap one another. They're really both about connecting to the wholeness within, connecting to our true power within, connecting to all of our capabilities and all of our traits that we externally see around us that we're like, I want to be more like that person, or I wish others saw me like this. When we recognize those traits in others, it's really things that we have internally already. We just haven't taken the time and space to really notice them. Because really, we as a universe are all one. Every single being is connected, every single animal is connected, every single organism on this planet is connected. And it's so cool that what we see within others is just parts of ourselves that we really do have deep down in our true, authentic selves. We just have to really accept it and allow that part of us to be expressed. And this is also the same with things that we may not really like in other people, too. It's definitely parts of ourselves that we feel shame, guilt, that we want to suppress, like those parts of ourselves. It's really taking the time to decipher what is my truth and what has been conditioned into me since the day I was born. Because all around us, there are stories and beliefs being passed down to us from generation to generation through TV shows, through social media, really through every part of our external life. But coming back to your authentic self means really deciphering for yourself, like, okay, what do I actually want to believe? What is actually aligned with the person that I know I am inside and the person that I truly want to show up as? Because true authenticity isn't changing ourselves or molding ourselves into something that we don't have the power to be or we don't believe we can be. It's coming back to the home within, our true power within, because everything is possible and everything is alive within us when we give it the energy, when we let our energy flow into those things that we want to create and we want to experience every single day. But you're probably thinking, like, how do you actually do that? And it's such a great question, especially in this energetic world. It can sometimes be difficult to explain the actual physical aspects of it and how we can take action on these things. For me personally, connecting to my own authenticity has been all about making time for my own relationship with myself. This being meditating, journaling, breath work, things that really just get me present in my body, even just going for a walk outside, grounding my feet on the grass. It's so easy to get caught up in social media. It's so easy to get caught up in what's going on all around us. But stopping to check in on our internal world is where our authenticity truly lies, and it's where our superpowers are hiding and waiting for us to connect to them. Because what I found from really connecting to this authentic power within me is how much more I can hear it speaking to me, how much more I feel it on a daily basis, how much happier and at peace I am in the present moment, just really knowing that I have my back and that I can always come back to that place. That has been the most eye-opening thing for myself, is that no matter what we are going through, no matter how terrible we are feeling, that authentic truth is still available within us all the time. But it's really easy to forget about it. And that's why I always say reminders are so important. Like, none of us are perfect. None of us are going to be happy all the time. None of us are always going to be grateful. None of us are always going to be loving. Like, that's just not realistic. We're going to experience frustration, anger, overwhelm, sadness, and just getting down on ourselves. But when we take that time to reconnect, to come back to our wholeness, to remember who we authentically are, we reclaim all of our power. We allow it to flow through us once again and move on from whatever we were consciously focusing on before. And by this, I don't mean repressing our emotions, because that is a no no here. It's all about feeling what we have to feel, but then allowing ourselves to let it go, because that's where so many of us, I've just noticed, get stuck, even with myself. So much what I've noticed over the past 5 years is how often I would just go in loops in my head over and over, really dwelling on the past, when really our authentic power lies in the present moment. The more that we can connect to ourselves in the present moment, and the more that we can just be present and appreciate and observe all the things around us, that is when life really starts to change. That is when we become the conscious creators that we were made to be. So I would say a big part of being your most authentic self, a big part of living your true purpose on this planet, is really nurturing the relationship you have with yourself and the relationship you have with the present moment. I used to be someone who was so scared of my thoughts. I wouldn't want to be alone with my thoughts. I'd always want to do something else where I wouldn't have to be thinking about what was going on in my head, because it felt so overwhelming, and it would make me feel all these feelings in my body that felt so uncomfortable that I just did not want to deal with. But when I started to allow space for those emotions and to observe those feelings and those thoughts that I was experiencing internally, things started to shift slowly but surely. Because when I first got into it, I was focused so much on my mindset, which can be a little bit exhausting sometimes. But when I finally found out about somatic work and embodiment work and really just grounding into my body and feeling the sensations and allowing whatever emotions were present to be felt, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter how much resistance I was feeling, because let me tell you, there has been a lot of resistance. It has taken me a few years to really be okay with feeling my feelings. I've honestly just gotten to the point where I feel more comfortable with my feelings than I ever have. And it's a process. There'll probably be some feelings I experience later on in life that make me so uncomfortable again, and that's okay. It's all about remembering that authentic power within, that we always can come back to it. And something that's really helped me just remind myself of who I really am on the inside and the version of me that I know I always have access to, is writing down all the traits that that version of me acts like, and how they choose to show up, and how they choose to live every day of their life. It's a really cool practice, and actually my last YouTube video was all about it. It's called the self-image practice. So if you want to learn more about that and create your own highest self-image, check it out. Another really key part of living an authentic life is remembering that you have everything you need within you already. Remembering that everything you want is available to you. We literally have universal source energy flowing through our bodies. When we connect to the universe is infinite. The universe is forever flowing. The universe wants to support us. It's our conscious choices that we make that really differentiate between living the life that we really want to and living our purposes so authentically versus feeling like we are victims, feeling like we have no choice over how our life goes. Because I definitely do believe that, yes, fate does come into it. Fate is a big thing that really is kind of unexplainable. But also, our own free will is a gift. our own conscious choice is a gift. And what this has to do with our own authenticity is when we really connect to ourselves, things start to become clear. We start to feel nudges. We start to hear messages or receive signs or different opportunities because we are opening ourselves up to all that life has to offer that is in line with our purpose when we choose to reconnect to ourselves over and over. Like, this is not going to be a one-time thing. I make sure I connect with myself every single day, whether that's through deeply breathing between tasks that I have, whether that's doing my journaling before bed, or whether that's going for a walk with no music and just noticing what comes up and noticing what's around me. There's really so many different ways to connect to yourself. And it's so funny because the more that you connect to yourself, the more that you're going to know how you can be more of your authentic self. It's going to naturally come up. All these ideas will flow to you. And it's honestly such a magical process. And I'm still in awe of the different ideas and nudges that my authentic power provides for me all the time. And I want to touch on intuition a little bit because it really plays a huge role in this. Our authenticity is our intuition in action. It's us really acting on our passions. It's us really acting on our values. It's us really acting on all our deepest, truest aspects of ourselves that sometimes we feel scared to share with the world. Like, was it easy for me to start dancing on Instagram? Hell no. I was freaking terrified. I remember writing in that post that I was so embarrassed to do that. But it's helped me grow my confidence so much more. And it's helped my authenticity flourish more. And now that's the version of myself that I am all the time. And it's so cool because you just keep discovering layer after layer the deeper you go and the more aligned you feel. And then the more in peace you can live, the more joyfully you can live when you're living as this whole version of you that just feels like home and is just wanting to be expressed within you. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but I'm intrigued, then just start with some simple, deep breathing every day, even just for 5 minutes. That's how I started meditating. I would just do it for 5 minutes with a timer just to sit with my thoughts and just to sit with myself in the present moment. You can do a little body scan where you just go from the top of your head to your feet, just really breathing and becoming aware of any sensations or feelings in your body. And then also journaling is a great one too as a daily check-in as well, or even just a weekly check-in. It's really whatever feels good for you and whatever really works for you. It's awesome to try out different things and see what really makes you feel deeply connected to yourself. Because being your true, authentic self should feel good. Is it going to feel scary because we have to go out of our comfort zone a lot of the time to do it? Yes, it can be absolutely terrifying, but it's also equally as exciting. And that's how you know you are on the right track with connecting to your own authenticity and really embodying it in your life is when you feel equally terrified and equally excited going towards whatever it is that your authentic self wants to bring forth and wants to bring to life. That's how you know you are on the right track. And the last thing I want to say is that authenticity is your true gift, your true superpower in your life. What you feel in your heart, your true calling, that is what is meant for you. I know this can feel a little bit tricky sometimes to connect to, but really doing our best to not allow other people's opinions to get in the way of what our true authentic calling is. And you may experience this through so many ways. There's just hearing different messages, there's feeling different things in your body, there's like a sense of knowing, there's images, like there's so many different ways our intuitive self talks to us. It's really just making the space for it, nurturing our connection with ourselves, and allowing our authenticity to shine through the darkness because the world needs your light. The world needs your authentic self. It's literally what you were put on this earth to do. So I really hope that you enjoyed this topic today, and I would love for you to comment one thing down below that you can start doing for yourself that's going to really allow your authentic being to lead the way. I am so proud of you. You are so courageous and brave, And just please know that we are always in this together. Have an amazing rest of your week. I love you so much. Bye.